Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about how much recruiters and recruitment consultants actually earn in the UK. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of debate on around this topic, but I just want to give you the facts and also what I've seen and also what I've done in terms of revenue and how much I've earned as a recruitment consultant. So I'm sure if you go on a job website and you look up recruitment consultant, some of them will be pie in the sky. You're going to earn 100k in your first year. Some companies that's very possible, but it's only a select few that actually do. Now, from what I see, I've worked at 4 different companies and I've seen nobody earn 100k. I've come somewhat close to that at some stages. If you average out some months, probably I've hit that. But I've grossed well over 100k for my company, but in terms of how much I've earned, I haven't. So typically on a basic salary, you'll be earning in London probably around 18 to 25. I know that's a higher bracket, but depending on some companies pay slightly more, especially in the tech sector. And they may have you doing business development, which also pays a higher basic salary rather than a trainee recruiter or resourcer. They're pretty much the same thing, but you don't make as many sales calls, or you'll make them, 6 months to a year's time once you have some training. So outside of London, you'd probably be earning slightly less than the basic. You're probably earning, 16 sometimes. That's thousand a year up to, 23, 22. If you're lucky, you might get a push on that. But things that help with your sort of increasing your wage, if you've got a degree in a certain subject. So if you want to start doing engineering and you've got an engineering degree and you join an engineering recruitment agency, chances are you might be able to negotiate a better sort of basic salary with that. So chances are, that's the basic salary. Now, with commission, what you probably typically be on is about 10 to 15% of everything you basically make for the company. Some companies do have thresholds, so you have to earn a certain amount. So let's say, for example, the commission paid out to you will be 10% every month on how much you earn, but you have to earn 5k. Some companies don't, some companies do. Um, so touching back on that, if you make £10,000 in January, your commission for February will be 10% of that, which will be £1,000, which is a good amount. Just to put it in perspective, my experience from what I've seen, most recruiters make about 6 to 10 on average per year. So that's averaged out. Some months will be up and down. I went back, I think last year, and I pulled a report of all my earnings. January obviously started a bit lower, and it literally went like that. It was a roller coaster until I put in steps, and towards the end of the year, it was just flat. Um, Hopefully, going to keep going up. But most recruitment consultants, you need to be prepared for this. Some don't make any commission any month. And I've seen it many times where some recruitment consultants haven't made commission for, 7 to 8 months, which ended up them losing their job. Some companies will fire you if you don't make commission for that month as well. So in terms of earnings, based on a commission, you should be able to, if you do pretty well, you should be able to double your salary in commission from what I see. So if you earn 20,000, you'll probably make 20,000 per year. And this starts to go off much higher in your second year if you remain in the company, especially if you bring on business. So if you bring on new business, work with a lot more clients, bring it into the company, you'll find it's a lot easier and you'll make commission pretty much every month. Some companies, once they build up a trust with you, they'll be able to, send you pretty much all of their jobs. And you don't have to do the sales calls at the end. You just end up being recruiting and it just keeps churning and churning. Obviously, if you've had sales experience, you probably get a bit more on the basic side. So commission structure in recruitment, I mean, I would say 80% of them are pretty terrible. Some companies do give a very good commission structure. The company I'm with currently give a very good commission structure as well. So we can all help each other earn more as well, which I don't find in other companies as well. So you need to look at the commission structure, which is more important. don't be fooled into taking a £20,000 job if the commission structure is worse than an £18,000 job, if that makes any sense. So the money is earned on the commission. Now, another thing to note with commission, it's paid as a bonus. Now, I don't know, I don't want to give tax advice, but you're paid at a bonus, which I believe, depending on your tax bracket, is taxed at 40%. So that month where you earned £10,000 and you got a £1,000 commission, actually you ended up with £600 after tax with that money. So if you add it onto a basic salary of 18 to 16, you might get about a grand and a half. So you'll be earning about after tax about 2,000, two and a half, that sort of range. If you just have average months, there'll obviously be some months where it will dip, some months where it will go up, and you'll have a 20 or 30,000 pound month where you'll get a nice 3, 4, 5, 6 grand commission, which is very possible. And I've done it consistently for a few months as well. So in terms of what I've earned, some months I can take home very easily working for somebody else. Probably I would say on a top month, 6 grand in commission. After tax, probably about 4 or 5. I think my best month was after tax about £5,000 on top of my basic salary, which I was very pleased with. Obviously worked very hard for that. So I think in terms of your earnings, it's totally up to you. Commission structure has to work for you as well. Company has to be right, and you've always got to do sales calls as well. If you're not into sales calls, chances are you won't hit that sort of £600 commission mark. You'll probably be making about 300 to 400 a month on average through the year if you're not doing the sales calls. So that will all become apparent now. Recruitment at the moment is not doing as well as before, but if you can still get in there, get a job in recruitment, chances are you'll be doing very well in 2 to 3 years time. Hope this helped. If you've got any questions, do let me know, and I hope it clarifies any points you do have.